Final trials in the US have found AstraZeneca's vaccine to be safe and effective. Regulators saying again there's no increased risk of blood clots. For a closer look, we're joined by Dr. Annelies Wilder-Smith. She's visiting professor at NTU's Chian School of Medicine. Dr. Wilder-Smith, are results from the United States trial of the AstraZeneca vaccine enough to convince the skeptics?
The results that were released today for the US trial of the AstraZeneca vaccine are very encouraging, bring very good news, and confirm previous findings that this vaccine is efficacious and safe.
And in your view, then, were countries too quick to halt the use after sporadic blood clots were reported?
I think it was, it speaks for a good surveillance and a good safety monitoring if a signal is found. So there were a very low number out of millions of vaccinated persons. So I think we should praise first the safety monitoring that is taking place in Europe and other countries. So it's also very important to point out that they did not halt the vaccine. They paused it to make sure that they really did a very proper, very stringent assessment on the safety concern that came out with some cases of what we call blood clots or thromboembolic events. So I think we should praise the system first. And then, what we call causality assessment. You have to really spend quite some time to find out whether there is a relationship between those events and the vaccine. And we also know that blood clots is very frequent. It's very especially frequent in the populations that we want to vaccinate. The priority populations are older people and are people with comorbidities. So we will find naturally occurring blood clots or thromboembolic events in those people.
Well, apart from politicians being the first to get inoculated, how else might confidence in vaccines be improved, Dr. Wilder-Smith?
I think we need to show the world that we are very rigorous in our assessments from a scientific level. We need very good communication, positive communication, but also transparent. And where we are put everything on the plate, there will always be a trade-off, but we must make sure that we communicate the benefit to risk ratio, and the benefit far outweighs the risk of any vaccine. And that's why we use vaccines. And that's why vaccines are so successful. So in addition to politicians, I would say, the stars and prominent people should come up and really promote a vaccine uptake.
The pace of vaccinations in the developing world is considered slow. What needs to be done to speed that up?
Well, I would say that the process is not that slow. I think we should, in fact, highlight the incredible progress. Remember, the first vaccine only received emergency use listing on the 31st of December. By 26 February, the first vaccines were rolled out to low to middle income countries. The mechanism to ensure that there will be an equitable global distribution to all countries is COVAX. So COVAX started to roll out on the 26th of February, and by the end of April, they really want to achieve a rollout to all the countries that have signed up to COVAX. COVAX has also successfully negotiated now 2.3 billion doses by the end of this year. So although the high-income countries had a first take, and there's always a first country and a last country, but the gap was really kept to a minimum. And I think it is one of the success stories of this pandemic, is this very rapid rollout, but also distribution. Yes, there are still some hurdles. Vaccine supply is still unpredictable. So we need more vaccines. And that's why the AstraZeneca vaccine news again is very encouraging news. We need more vaccines. We need better vaccine supply. And we need to really work on that every single country will have access to this vaccine.
Okay, many thanks for your thoughts this evening. Dr. Annelies Wilder-Smith, visiting professor at the Chian School of Medicine.